Breaking tonight, choked by smoke.
Burns your eyes, it's hard to breathe.
People in every part of Syracuse could smell it, and you couldn't walk outside in the city tonight and not wonder what's burning.
Our firefighters are working their tails off, and it's exhausting, and they're steadfast. As you can see, we're bringing companies in and out, and they're working really, really hard, so my hat's off to them.
Breaking team coverage on a block fire that forced a lot of people from their homes, pushed fire crews to the limit, and could bring down buildings that have stood for nearly 140 years.
CBS 5 News at 11 starts now.
Good evening. No one was hurt, the city says, but dozens of people have been forced out of their apartments, and tonight it's not clear if they will ever be able to call the 700 block of North Salina Street home again. Breaking live at this hour, the bulk of the fire has been knocked down, but firefighters fully expect hot spots will rekindle in the overnight hours, and they plan to be on scene to deal with that. The fire chief says it was someone inside one of the buildings that called 911, reporting hearing a smoke alarm going off at about 2:30 this afternoon. Inside the historic buildings, fire crews say they were met with several obstacles. Some of the buildings are connected via the second floor. 4 of the 6 buildings on the 700 block of North Salina have major fire damage. The rooftops have collapsed in some areas, and floors inside have collapsed as well.
We went in, tried to locate the fire. Those guys went up to the second floor. As they got to the third floor, the heat and the fire was so intense that the fire had such a head start that we had to retreat back.
CBS 5's Tommy Sladak is with the Live Eye at the breaking scene tonight.
Michael, this has been a tremendous spectacle on Syracuse's north side. In the last 8 hours, fire and emergency crews have dealt with rain, thunderstorms, extreme heat, in very old buildings that seem to just want to hold on to this fire in remarkable ways. We were on scene minutes after the call first came in early this afternoon. Temperatures reaching the mid-90s made a difficult task even harder for firefighters. The worst of the blaze rotated between multiple buildings throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. Just when crews seemed to get a handle on the fire in one of them, smoke and flames would start raging in another. Now, when the sun went down, it was more of the same, some of the biggest flames appearing hours into this battle. Michael Semfka lived above the luggage and leather store. He says he was just about to hop in the shower when people began banging on his door and walls, yelling for him to get out, making it out alive with nothing but his phone and the shirt on his back.
You're sitting across the street watching your own living room window have flames burst out of it and firefighters pummeling water inside of your house and not even knowing what to do next.
As the sun set, the fire and smoke grew in size. Mike Music lives across the street from where the fire broke out. He says he was miles away when he first smelled smoke, not knowing it came from buildings just a few feet from his home. Tonight he watched from his rooftop deck, a view that will never again look the same.
As we got closer to Destiny, the mall, that's when we saw the flames, we could see flames and the smoke. So that's when we really noticed it. The closer we got, the bigger it was.
Now, Michael, just within the last 20 minutes here was the first time we've seen firefighters turn off their hoses here on the North Salina Street side. It looks like they're assessing the situation. They're keeping the guys on top of the ladders. You can see down on the street where they're walking around right now is piles and piles of brick that came down when they were shooting water at an angle from the street. Now, with these homes and businesses destroyed, the battle is far from over tonight. Live on North Salina Street, I'm Tommy Slater.
CBS 5 breaking team coverage continues right now with Justin Page live at the fire scene. Justin.
Michael, this is the first time in hours I haven't heard water hitting these buildings behind me, and we're really getting our first look at just how extensive this damage is. Although things have quieted down a little bit now, it was a much more chaotic scene this afternoon and early this evening as more than 100 people looked on as firefighters tried to contain these flames.
The smoke could be seen for miles, but dozens of neighbors on the city's north side had a front row seat. They watched through the choking smoke.
2, 3, 4 blocks away from here, and I could smell it coming down my street.
Burns your eyes, it's hard to breathe.
The smell it's not good.
Those too close to danger were kept away from their homes.
Our food is spoiling. The smoke is coming in our house. You can't breathe. You can't open no windows.
Really heartbroken because it doesn't just affect the building, it affects every apartment around here, and a lot of these people have nowhere else to go and they're completely smoked out of their apartments. It's devastating.
For hours, firefighters worked to contain the flames, using every technique at their disposal.
It's so just overwhelming down here. It's just so bad that I never seen this like this. It just keep going and going and going. It seems like they're never going to get it under control.
The buildings had stood along Salina Street, one of the city's main thoroughfares, for decades. People couldn't help but look on and watch as they burned.
You know, I got burned when I was a child, and it just brings me back to that day when I got burned. It's just, I wouldn't wish any of this on anyone.
Fire crews will be here throughout the night putting out the remaining hot spots on these buildings. Right now, the roads are secure. There is no driving, no walking along the 700 block of North Salina Street, even the 600 block of North Salina Street, and a portion of Division Street in Syracuse until further notice. The city says they're going to evaluate these buildings tomorrow to decide whether or not they need to come down, and if they do, that will undoubtedly change the landscape of this Northside neighborhood. For now, reporting live in Syracuse, I'm Justin Page.